All right. We honestly kind of cooked with this one, boys. Now, I had a very good match earlier on, beating the final boss Deathless with Revenant. However, the audio track was absolutely borked, so we have to re-record the video. And it's Centaur, so great, good stuff. I'll put some footage up whenever there's nothing going on. I might just put some footage up of the maybe the night one fight, and well, things I think are maybe important for the overall discussion on Revenant. Speaking of which, the main star of today's show, I think Revenant is one of the most fun characters to play. She has a lot of neat stuff to her abilities and to how you play her, and also with your whole thing set up. Oh my goodness, we're pretty much set up now. With all of your abilities set up, you are an absolute monster whenever you drop that ultimate on people. So, fantastic. If you only take one thing away from this video, however, I want you to know that put holy damage on your starting weapons. It's just that easy. Like, legitimately. It makes life so much better. It makes you do so much more damage, and it makes you very good at melee, which is part of what she's supposed to do. That's why she doesn't have FP regen. She is meant to go into melee somewhat with faith weapons. And part of that is helping your team support that kind of stuff. So we have a bunch of guard break. That's impressive. I'll talk a little bit more in depth about the skills here. I think they are all very impactful. Or not skills, sorry. Relic effects. They're all very necessary. That being said, some of them can be swapped out. Definitely not. Ooh, lightning spear, that's what we needed. So I always 30, 30, 30. Let's go with this. Or you know what? Actually, we're not gonna take this. I didn't see this had electrify armament. That'll do it. That's our weapons. Electrify armament is better than lightning spear because sometimes Fulghor will have more resistance when he goes for his ultimate. And so to make absolutely sure that you do get it or you interrupt it, it's nice to have lightning or electrify armament instead of lightning spear. But where was I? Yeah, some things can be swapped out, I won't deny, but the general vibe of this build is definitely up there in terms of power and how important every single little detail is. You'll see a lot of ultimates where we just do a bunch of damage and basically melt the boss. All of that is because of the relics that we have, and I did show them on screen, but I want to talk specifically about, well, her Ghost Flame is fantastic, but also the ability or the effects that help us get those ultimates are just as important. So obviously doing extra damage, kills, giving us heart gauge, as you can see, like we're just wrecking, dude. We're wrecking. Doing ranged weapons, guard up boys, they're both useless. Nice. We get keys and we get everything we need. So those two in particular are very important. They are, I guess, side effects. And then all her abilities will work towards your ultimate. So Ghost Flame will obviously make you do more damage when you have your ultimate up. Or when you do your ultimate, it'll do damage. And then you have Cypher Pada. Might be a nice idea. I'm not too in love with Cypher Pada as I am with the Coated Sword, but it is an option. I think the Coated Sword is better, and honestly, with how we were built... Whoopa. That was a little bit close. That was like 4 dudes looking at me. Whoa. Okay, we're safe. Nice thing about this fight is that you can just turn on these dudes. So here we can summon Helen. You can interrupt them while they're doing that special move, by the way. Or here. And here. Nice. Clean. Your running attack is very good. I mean, why not? Your running heavy is very good. Your rolling R1 is very good. Your jump attacks aren't that good. Ow. Just look at these ultimates going off, man. He just can't do anything. Oh boy. That's so funny. We're probably gonna go for status. Status negation 32% is very nice though. Despite the fact that I would very much want stamina. We're gonna go for that. And now I think we actually head over here. We got closed off from the other 3 churches. Actually from all churches. Holy moly, what a bad ring. Okay, so disregard that. We're actually gonna go for at least one of the churches. Obviously HP is very important. We got a terrible ring for some reason. So besides the Ghost Flame as well, there's another relic that I think is infinitely far more impactful than some people might realize, especially for solo play. A lot of people just see what the effect is and they go like, well, this is a co-op relic, why would I have this? Buffing your family by 35% is just buffing yourself if you think about it, because your family's damage is your damage, so any damage that they do is just going to contribute to your overall fight. So don't do what I was basically thinking. They are definitely very powerful. So I guess I could talk about charged heavies as well. They're very good. Overall, I think the thing that I like most about Revenant is just the amount of actions that you need to take. So obviously you need to keep your teammates alive. You need to do damage, you need to use spells all at the same time while keeping yourself alive if you draw aggro. So she is very fun in that regard. So at least with 4 heals, we won't feel too bad about the day 1 fight. If you can, you saw me ditch the seal that I started with, but if you can, try to keep it if you don't have any other heal. The only reason I swapped it out is because this also has heal. Any kind of heal will save you from a night 1 Royal Revenant. Those are very dangerous and will ruin your day if you get a night 1 boss like that. The other one that can ruin your day is Onze. But for Onze, you have a little bit more, especially if you got or revived a few of the important demi-humans from the start of the fight. If you can get those buffed by 35%, those are also fantastic. So what looks like up there is Banished Knight camp, I think. Because it doesn't have any banners. So we'll try to go around it on the left here. And work our way towards the Evergaol. That's another relic that might be useful for Revenant, but I just haven't managed to fit it in. I think the things that I have on it are far more impactful than the 5% on Evergaol kill. That being said, it is obviously fantastic. It looks like a Hippo, and this actually looks like a... oh no, they are Banished Knights. So we're gonna ignore the Banished Knights. We are gonna kill the Hippo though. Be careful with your inputs with Revenant. She does have very awkward inputs. Something about it just doesn't work. So in these cases, when you don't have your ultimate, Helen has the highest DPS. If you can get your hits to land, goddamn. What? There you go. And then I can show off Helen's ultimate here. There she goes. She's so good. She's still going. She's like, I'm not done with you yet. Lightning is pretty funny, but we have Electrify Armament. So boost damage negation, I suppose. Alright, for level 7 for night 1 is pretty good. I just kind of want to see what's over here. We have so many Stonesword Keys that it really doesn't matter. Like I mentioned, running R2 is fantastic, so always try to use it. Nah, it's fine. We'll save it for maybe this one up here, since we need to go over here anyway, so this one, maybe the one up top. Those are probably going to be my Stonesword Keys of choice. We're going to have to take this Spirit Spring to then take this bird and run over here, I guess. The churches are very definitely awkward, but some games you're just gonna have awkward churches, and that's that. So we prep our heal here in case that we get a Revenant. I'm probably gonna put up some footage of Night 1 Revenant that we got in the other game, since we don't have much else going on. The important thing with the Revenant is that you just get your ult up before it spawns. Okay, we got an equally interesting one. Actually, for this phase, it's better to have Helen. She will DPS all these little guys much faster. I want to talk, I guess, primarily while we're doing this about the idea that some people might have to build Revenant with status effects. I don't necessarily think it's wrong. I do think Holy will be better overall. And so if you're one of those people, like, consider it. Because Revenant just doesn't have that good Arcane. She only has 1 point of Arcane more than Duchess, and her claws just don't do enough. Unfortunately, We gotta get out of here. So, unfortunately... There you go. I think if we had gotten Freddy to attack the Wormface there, we would have basically killed it instantly. Oh. I got... okay. I get up. Wah, 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 wah. Door post. I don't know what happened there, I'll be honest. But hey, I'm not complaining. I just wasn't... I think I didn't have stamina, that's why I couldn't roll. All these are kind of bad. We'll take Holy Ground, even though I don't think we're gonna be... You're having fun there. We can actually work... Let's work upwards instead of... Yeah, let's do that. So, we'll go from top to bottom here. The top church. Clear this Evergaol, clear the mine for our weapon. And then clear the churches as we go. We might not have time to go for the central castle, but it is what it is. The only field boss that I'm interested in doing right now would be a moose, because the moose is incredibly weak to holy, so we can just do that for free essentially. But yeah, just low arcane means that Revenant is not that good in my opinion for status effects. Even if it does list it as a B, it's just not good enough. Okay, so we're gonna tag out Freddy here because he's 1 HP. Jump over that. Double roll. Single roll. Chug. Infinite range. He's really into that today. I don't know why. Okay. We have probably 20k runes. That might have been greedy. I think the death blight, sudden death thing is surprisingly useful. I've actually seen Nameless King get killed by it, so in person, so it definitely does work. There you go. So that's our upgrade material for purple. We will need upgrade material for blue. But we'll just get out the same way we came in, because we need to catch that flight, I suppose. Always try to check yeah, there we go. Always try to check these corpses because they could drop blue. And so that saves you the hassle of having to do it yourself. So the thing is up there, so we'll just take this spring up. Alright, definitely not as bad of a start as I thought. The second ring should include the castle. So with that out of the way, or with that guaranteed, sorry, we can focus on the churches now. While we're going to the churches, we can also stop by maybe this fort and upgrade our weapon. Now, from this distance, you can't really tell what's in the top of the castle, but I think where those ruins are, you can definitely see far better. So here we have a lion. We're not interested in the lion, so we're just gonna skip it. That's a day 1 boss. Once again, running heavy. And the other thing about, I guess, status effects on Revenant, besides the fact that she just doesn't have good arcane, is the fact that her claws aren't that fast. Like, sure, your R1s are fast. They do hit twice. But in general, they aren't strictly fast. Taking damage sucks, by the way. We're just gonna swap this to Electrify Armament. It does work on any weapon, I have noticed. Gold Pickled Foulfoot is very nice. We're not gonna visit another Stonesword Key. And yeah, there you have it. So we need to leg it to the bottom of the map to then run north. And that's gonna be us. Nothing of value, just upgrade materials. We don't need that. Just keep going. So, hopefully up until this point you've been inspired to try Revenant. So I do want to preface by saying that I have gotten, all things considered, very lucky with my rolls. And I would have tried Revenant if I didn't have such good rolls for her to begin with. So I guess it's a blessing in disguise. But if you don't have these rolls, don't feel bad. There are definitely ways to build her. And that's those are follow-up videos that I could definitely go over. How to build the characters as best as you can with the guaranteed relics. Alright, nothing important there. Before the night ends, I will pick up the Wending Grace, just to be safe. Now, I haven't died to Fulghor in what feels like a month. And relating to the amount of relics that I have over 150 hours played at this point, with 100 plus, probably the same amount of successful expeditions. Some people have had early access and more time in the game. Bro is tweaking over there, holy moly. And they have worse relics than me. So it's all a matter of perspective. And luck, that's just it. So we'll see how much damage we can do to our boy here. Yep. Oh, he died too early. Too quick. Oh. Might as well take this now. Look at that running R2, man. So you definitely want to keep your family alive, but if it's your family or you, obviously you have to keep yourself alive. Just look at the amount of stun damage that we're doing. That's another low-key one, by the way. Stamina damage up when two-handing. I might actually try to roll one of those. Hopefully I can roll it with another useful one like the Evergaol one or starting armor that deals holy. Those are all fantastic, of course. Let me see what we got. So, nothing. I guess that. Then we're gonna go downstairs and clear that too. Alright, Wolf of Radagon might be doable. He is a bit of a dickhead. It's really hard to tell what he's doing sometimes. There you go. You can't repulse this guy, what the fuck? Alright, we caught him. The worst thing is if he tries to roll out of it or something. Or dash out of it, I guess. Well, we got one hit in. Freddy. Pretty good. That's not that impactful. So all of these suck, we're just gonna ignore it. Alright, so we have the ring closing nearby. That's very good. We do have max HP up. And on top of that, we're gonna get a good talisman here. Of course not. Of course not. So, fucking throwing pots, man, whatever. Whatever. We leave. And nothing else to do. We just sit and wait. So I'll put some more footage up on screen probably of the other match. So, throughout the game, we've been getting some high impact ultimates, and that's because of all the relics that I'm using. So, in an instance before a night fight that you wouldn't have gotten your ultimate, the defeating enemies fills art gauge will give you a lot, and then during the fight, you might summon Freddy to then use your ultimate. So then the Ghost Flame is another effect, and then Freddy doing 35% more damage with his ultimate is another effect. And then you doing 10% because Freddy's on the board is yet another effect. And then you doing that much damage because of your holy weapons is yet another effect. So you can see how important it is to have all of these relics set up for her ultimates. All right, we're just waiting. I mean, like I said, there's nothing else to do. The ring's closing very slowly. But with characters like Revenant, Iron Eye, Duchess, and Recluse that don't have that much HP, you don't want to spend too much time in the ring trying to do things at the last minute, because the ring is a fixed amount of damage. And so if you're in the ring with those characters, you're gonna get killed way faster than with, say, Raider or Guardian. You can sidestep that, by the way. Oh, alright. Niall is another great example of... I know this is a Revenant video, but for Wilder, if you have a parry shield... Opa. It is important to know that you can just parry Niall. In these cases, you can send Helen to like do something, but she's not that useful, and she's probably gonna die to an AoE. So okay. Yep, he just does that. He just does that for a while. Look at him go. Woo! I love Niall. He's such a great boss. Basically can't punish whatever he's doing there. And we're gonna charge this and kill him. That's what I would say. We kill him here. There you go. Yeah, Niles is a piece of shit. Just a waste of time. So we have probably maximum stamina is the most impactful there. And here we're going to do a little trick, actually. We are going to go into the ring and pick up the Wending Grace that I totally forgot about. Now, I know I just said that it's not very good to run around in the ring with these characters with low HP. But since the Grace is right here in the middle of our little excursion, it's definitely not that big of a deal. We have 7 flasks to do this little trip, so definitely doable. And this is just for safety, just in case. But like I said, I haven't died to Fulghor in what feels like years. I have practiced the fight quite a bunch. It really doesn't matter if you die here. There is a timer for the ring, but it is relatively fast. Or sorry, relatively slow. And you are relatively fast. There you go, see? No problem. And we got a Wending Grace for it. So now we get a second Wending Grace. Yeah, I don't think this is enough for 2 levels. The reason why is because we didn't get a good Rooftop boss, because the red eye indicator just tells you what the boss... it's basically a modifier for the boss souls that they drop, right? But each boss has different souls, I guess. So we're gonna put on Electrify Lightning. It should last quite a while. We'll see. Dodged out of it. You can see your indicator as well if you have lightning on your weapon on the top left. So you don't have to worry about accidentally forgetting about it. Okay, great. Refreshing my lightning. Now for this one I like to run away just because there's no appreciable way to as far away as I can. You can't outspace it. Oh, I didn't have enough time. That's crazy. That was 6 R1s. That's fine. This phase isn't that bad. It also lets us show it off because you usually do interrupt them. You can jump that. Oh, he's stunned. I want to see if I can refresh my lightning here in time. I accidentally summoned Sebastian. We still had lightning. So heavies are definitely the way to go. Whoop. Whoa! Well, there you go. I don't know what stunned me. I thought I wasn't in the Pillars of Light. See, like, that was 2 R1 strings and they worked, so... Should have had my crab. That wouldn't have happened if I had my crab. That's crazy. Stun? Yeah. Well, we got the last laugh. Yeah, it's unlikely that I die to this clown. Well, there you go. That's what I get for opening my big mouth. But hopefully this one and the last boss are a good indicator of how good this character is. I really do enjoy her. So if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, have a good one. Now, I am pretty confident with Heolstor, but some combination of attacks really put me on edge. So, all of that being said, whenever you're fighting a Night Lord, I just suggest to use Helen. He's the best. He's the one that's gonna survive the longest, ironically. Okay, so that's one down. We do have 2 heals, despite it looking like we don't. That's the kind of stuff that really puts me on edge with this guy. So on his roar, I like to dodge through it. Dodge the 3rd one. Dodging backwards does seem to help here, and that does set up roll traps for phase 2, so I feel like that's what the dev intended, or the devs. Because like I said, it definitely feels like it's way safer. So for this attack that he's gonna do, the slam down, I just kind of like running around it. I don't like messing with that smoke. It's deceptive AoE. Okay, we recovered. Again, we run out of it. Really not interested in messing with that. Now, some characters can punish it, like Guardian. He can actually fully punish it. So we're gonna save this ult hopefully for his big slam of doom. Okay, so for this one, what I like to do, or try to do, is run away, and then when you see them pivot towards you, basically super sprint to the side. That does seem to at least keep you safe from most of them. So it should be time. Okay, so here we summon Freddy. We kept him alive. We didn't get the damage in though. So in this phase you want to be right up next to him. That one is really difficult to punish. Even not with the rolling out attack. Okay, good. We can summon Helen here, just for aggro. Okay, so he's doing his big attack. 2, 1, 2, 3. That one is really finicky. I like to backstep there, or not backstep, but you get what I mean, like back up. Because it's really finicky to like hit the epicenter. Because like DTS, he like branches out whenever he slams the or the AoE branches out. So really you can get caught in that so easily. So I like to back up so he has enough room to like do a direct line onto you instead of him curving either way because he's trying to track you. You know what I mean? So